Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Hari Prashant from Second Year Aerospace Department. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to the 270th meeting of Amrita Toastmasters Club. Let me introduce the rules. First, there should be no talk about sex, politics, or religion. Second, the speakers are requested to keep their audio and video on. Third, the audience can keep their video on, but they are asked to keep their mics off unless called upon. Now, let me hand over the stage to a presiding officer, Toastmaster Bhavesh. Over to you, Bhavesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hari Prasant. I hope most of you would have heard about this Shark Tank India that's been popular throughout the TV things. What happens in the Shark Tank is pretty simple, I believe, and almost everybody knows. You present a product, and the judges, the person sitting there, they'll give you some money to start your startup or continue your business. A news came out saying that they did not do that spontaneously. They were given training, and number of test trials were done before the actual one that's been telecasted on TV. Okay, why am I saying this to you guys? Why am I saying this to you is because presentation is key. The TV people wanted the presentation to be so perfect. Even before the actual pitching, they had trial pitchings one or more than one time. So this is to ensure that they make their presentation as good as possible. We are doing that regularly here. So what I'm trying to say, participate more, improve your presentation skills. So in the future, you might shine very easily. With that being said, Amrita Toastmasters Club, part of Amrita University, is a hotspot for public speaking and leadership development. And anybody from the Amrita University can be a member of this club. We have Toastmaster Dhanushya from KIT Toastmasters Club, who will be the individual evaluator of Toastmaster Sashank today. Before we go further ahead, I kindly request Toastmaster Dhanushya to introduce herself.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Toastmaster Dhanushya from KIT Toastmasters Club. At present, I'm the VP of the club, and I'm also studying my second year in biotechnology department in Kalaignar Karunanidhi Institute of Technology. And I'm also area B5 parliamentarian. That's it about me. Over to you, presiding officer.
That's amazing, Toastmaster Dhanushya. Thank you. With that being said, let me hand over the stage to, let me pass over to the general evaluator, Toastmaster Malavika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavesh. Evaluator for today, and general evaluator keeps an eye on the meeting in general and then comments on its successes or if any failures so that we can rectify it and have better meetings in the future. So today I have three people, the timer, the accountant, and the grammarian, who will be assisting me in carrying out this role and keeping an eye on the meeting. And I will now call upon them to introduce their roles. So in the tag team, we have the timer, who is Toastmaster Priyadarshini. Toastmaster Priyadarshini, could you introduce yourself, your role, and go over the timing procedures, please?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role as timer is to keep time for all the speakers to ensure that everyone speaks within their allotted time. To check this, spin my video. For table topics, I will raise green card at 1 minute and yellow when it's 1.5 minutes and red card when it is 2 minutes. For prepared speakers, I will raise green card when it is 5 minutes, yellow card when it is 6 minutes, and red when it is 7 minutes. For evaluations, I will raise green card when it is 2 minutes, and yellow card will be raised when it is 2.5 minutes, and 3 minutes it will be a red card. Back to the general.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyadarshini. And like she said, please make sure you pin the timer. Moving on, our accounter for today is Toastmaster Rupa. Toastmaster Rupa, please.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I'm Toastmaster Rupa and I'll be the accounter for the day. My role as accounter is to make note of all the unnecessary filler words like and, but, so, I mean, like, crutch words like and also unnecessary pauses that diminish the quality of your speech, and like was a filler word. I'll make note of that. But I will make note of all the filler words that all of you use in your speech today and present my report at the end of the meeting. Over to the General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rupa. Last but not the least, we have the grammarian, who is Toastmaster Shruti. Toastmaster Shruti, please.
Thank you, General Evaluator. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to the language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is my duty to introduce the word of the day. So for today's meeting, the word of the day is chuffed, which can be used when you're feeling really happy or really pleased about something. It's more of a used as a slang word in London nowadays, but I came across the word and I found it quite interesting. An example would be I'm chuffed to bits, meaning you're really, really pleased. I encourage all the speakers to use the word of the day today. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shruti. With that, I think I will now pass on the control to Toastmaster Hari Prashant, who is our table topic master for today.
Thank you, Master Malavika. I'll be the table topics master for the day. For the benefits of this, table topics is a session which is I would say, chaffed part of the event, where the speakers have to present a 1 to 2 minute speech on the topic which I give. The speakers can volunteer, or I have the authority to pick two. So feel free to volunteer. I have numbers from 1 to 12. If anyone wishes, they can volunteer. No one? Okay, how about guest Toastmaster Dhanushya? Toastmaster Dhanushya? Okay, she might be having some issues. How about Toastmaster Rupa? It's been a long time since you spoke on a table topic session.
Sure.
Pick a number between 1 to 12.
3.
Okay. What is something you have always wanted to try, but you have been too afraid to? What is something you have always wanted to try, but you have been too afraid to? Toastmaster Rupa.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hari Prashant, for that wonderful topic. What is something that I've always wanted to try, but I've been too afraid to? Well, I think that would definitely take a minute of thinking, because I am never an in-between person. I'm either too afraid to do things or not afraid at all. And when I'm too afraid to do things, I do nothing. I just sit and then I feel scared and then I don't try anything. When I'm not afraid at all, I'm not scared to do even the most embarrassing things in the world. Can you believe that in my college days, I got to go sing in the cancer ward? Even though I absolutely have no clue what singing is like. I did that because I got a free pass from college, and when I did that, there was this old ailing tata in the cancer ward who jumped right off his bed and fell on the floor. I saw that happen, paused, and then continued singing like nothing happened. So, throughout my school life, singing was something that would terrify me. I was one day called in front of my class to sing the prayer, and there was this part where it went really high pitched and I couldn't reach it, and then I just stood in front of my entire class quacking like a dumb duck. And after that, in college, I decided to go and sing in the cancer ward simply because I would get a free pass. That is just how in extremes I am. I'm either too scared to do things like that day in front of my class when I was quacking like a duck, or I'm absolutely not scared at all and ready to take all the risks in the world. And I think that is one thing that makes my life a really, really enjoyable and really, really painful roller coaster ride. That ability to do nothing and everything at the same time. Back to the table topics, Master.
You always amaze me why you are the best speaker in the club. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rupa. Now we have a guest, distinguished Toastmaster Mayur. Sir, would you like to have a topic? So pick a number between 1 to 11.
4.
Okay. If you could take only 2 items to a deserted island, what would they be? If you could take only 2 items to a deserted island, what would they be? Distinguished Toastmaster Mayur.
Thank you, Mr. Topics Master. It's always pleasure to think about some imaginary scenarios and see how we will all react. I'd really be chuffed to actually be in such a situation where I'll be in a desert, but I sincerely hope I'll find an oasis in the desert. In that oasis, I will definitely need my pillow because, as we all know, we all love sleep, and I love my sleep. And hence, my pillow will be the first priority on my list. And the second object that I would really be looking forward to is for a notebook and a pen. Of course, these are 2 different items, but I'll consider this as one. I'm continuing on with what Toastmaster Rupa's topic was. I'd actually write a story, and this writing a story is something that I've been really been scared to, and I've been really postponing this. So if I am deserted in a desert, I'll really look forward to getting a good sleep and also writing a lot of imaginary stories. Can you imagine some person actually can take you to a whole different world? That is the power of what story writers have. Just with a small pen and paper, they take us to a whole imaginary world. Can you imagine J.K. Rowling, a single mother, had gotten the whole world mystified and enchanted with her pen work? That is the power of the words. And I really look forward to being deserted in an no man's land, and I look forward to writing a story that might in one day capture the imagination of a future generation and motivate them to write a story. Thank you, and over to the topics master.
Thank you so much, sir. Like it was one of the amazing takes on topics. I wouldn't have thought about bringing a note and pen in a deserted island. That was awesome. Okay, next up, do we have anyone else, or shall I pick?
Can I Toastmaster?
Sure, Bhavish. Pick a number between 1 to 10.
10.
Okay. If you could make one thing disappear forever, what would that be? If you could make one thing disappear forever, what would that be, Toastmaster Bhavish?
Okay. Okay, if I could make something disappear at this point, obviously as a student, I would say online Viva. It is killing me. I started hating the sound of MS Teams. It gives me a nerve inside that I lose my sleep. Every morning, they say my Viva is only at 11 or 12 o'clock. I lose my sleep at 6 o'clock. I want to sleep. I want to prepare. I do something, but I cannot sleep. That sound haunts me till now. Sometimes, we have this application on our mobile. Sometimes the ringtone, the MS Teams ringtone plays. I do not know why it plays. Even for regular classes, it plays. I lose my sleep at that time. I want to sleep, I lose my sleep. I have nightmares during every single Viva. What will the teacher ask? Even if the Vivas are easy, it kills us due to the, all those nightmarish thoughts. So the number one thing, if I could make it disappear, would be online Vivas. Number two, online class may or may not be happy. Sometimes it's good, you get a chance to sleep. Sometimes, it's you'll have to sit in front of your laptop for a whole day. That's something acceptable. But online Vivas, I really do not know who found that online Viva. And it's only something that our college does, not every other college does. That's the worst thing. I do not know why. When I go tell my friends that I had this online Viva, they see me as some kind of alien. They are, they enjoy their exams because one person writes the exam, other person copies the exam. So that's something they do happily. We have to sit for a Viva, prepare for a Viva. So if I get a chance to remove something out of this world totally, that would be, of course, Amrita's Viva. Thank you, and over to the table topics master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavesh. I think all students here will come to support you for that wonderful take. Next up, can I call upon Toastmaster Priyadarshini?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pick a number between 1 to 9.
Number 4.
Okay. Being grateful is the ideal quality. Explain this statement from your life. Being grateful is the ideal quality. Explain this statement from your life, Toastmaster Priyadarshini.
Okay, so thank you for this topic, Toastmaster Hari Prashant. And yeah, grateful is something we have to be throughout our life, and we should be grateful for what we have now, rather than thinking about what we have lost or what we don't have. Particularly, I feel being grateful motivates us for a long run, and it keeps on how do I explain? Yeah, it actually motivates us and helps us going for the long run. And I feel we should be always grateful to those who helped us and who helped us in improving everything. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyadarshini. That was a good take on the topic. Next up, can I call upon Toastmaster Pratana? Toastmaster Pratana? You there? Okay. How about Toastmaster Malavika?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Can you pick a number from 1 to 8?
6.
Okay. What's the number one thing that you want to accomplish before you die? What's the number one thing that you want to accomplish before you die, Toastmaster Malavika?
Okay, this is something that I always tell my mother, and my family collectively chooses to laugh at me. So so don't judge, but it might come across as a very very wild dream, but this is something I actually want to do. So in 10th, no, in 12th grade or 11th grade, I'm not sure. We had this very boring lesson in our English literature textbook called it was I forgot what it's called, but it involved people going on an expedition to Antarctica. That was the story. I think some of you might remember if you have studied in the CBSE syllabus, and it was an absolutely boring lesson. Like people were sleeping, everybody hated this. There were all sorts of complicated questions that came about how when you go to Antarctica, you see life is very minute, but it affects everything. And people hated that chapter because they were these sort of big questions used to come for the exams. But for some reason, I absolutely loved it, right? And ever since I've read that lesson, it's actually been my biggest dream to go to Antarctica. Now, going to Antarctica regularly is like ridiculously expensive, but it also takes 6 months to actually, go on a ship. You get to go on a ship, and then it takes 6 months to return. It's a long journey, and it's very specialized people who actually go. There was a point in of time where I was like really depressed with some of my exams going on, and I decided that if I ever become an utter failure in life, I'm going to run away to Antarctica. But to be honest, I really want to go to Antarctica because if you think about it, you look at all of life's ecosystems, then is the most strangest and also perhaps one of the most mysterious ecosystem is Antarctica, right? Because even though it's just a sheet of ice, there's so many different life, for everything from plankton to actually all sorts of microbes, prehistoric microbes. People are actually digging up the ice to find out new life. And even the most amazing whales, like it's so profoundly big, large, humongous whales, everything. It's just a wonderful ecosystem. So I think this is actually something I want to do, and I'll try my best to do, is to see Antarctica before I die. So yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. If you can please get us some tickets too, so that we can also visit it with you. Okay, next up we have final speaker for this first half of the table topic session. How about Toastmaster Sainath? Toastmaster Sainath?
Hi, Harip sir. Sorry, I can't turn on my video, but sure.
That's okay. Can you pick a number from 1 to 7?
1 to 7. 5.
Okay.
I feel like there's some magic gonna happen. Do you wanna guess what my number is?
No, it's okay. What's the biggest lie you once believed was true? What's the biggest lie you once believed was true, Toastmaster Sainath?
Okay. The biggest lie that I believed was once true is that anyone above the age of 18 actually has their life intact. They know what they're going to do. They know their life is planned out. They know what is what in the world. Come to think of it, not even about above 20. People above 50 also have no idea. I just found out. My whole life was a lie. There are people who still believe that we didn't land on the moon. There are people who still believe that the earth is flat. Clearly, somewhere along the line, we have done a good job of telling kids that nope, we know everything. And children also believe us, thinking, oh wow, they know it. We don't. So then I guess that was the biggest lie, because somewhere along the line, after getting my internship or getting a job, anything, you start to realize they took 4,000 rupees tax. Da. Can you imagine the heartbreak? For what? We pay for water. The only thing that's free is air right now. That was my rant. Thanks for the topic, Hari.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmaster Sainath. I wonder how you can always turn up whatever the topic into a funny conversation. That's awesome. Okay, now we have come to the end of the session. We'll meet after the end of prepared speeches. Hand over to Toastmaster Malik.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hari Prashant. All of us are absolutely chuffed after that wonderful table topic session. And now we move on to the prepared speech session. And the first speech will be given by Toastmaster Shashank. But before I call upon Toastmaster Shashank, I request his evaluator, Toastmaster Danishia, to please read out the objectives of his speech.
Yeah. Good evening once again, everyone. The purpose of his speech is for the member. For the purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmaster envisions mentoring. The purpose of his speech is for the member to share some aspects and previous experience as supported. So this is his objectives, and all the best to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Malavika, Toastmaster Shashank is unable to join for a minute. Will it be okay for you to put Toastmaster Shashank as the second speaker?
Yeah, all right, it's fine. Okay, since Toastmaster Shashank will join us after some time, we'll move on to the second speaker, who will be Toastmaster Srinidhi. And Toastmaster Srinidhi will be evaluated by Toastmaster Pooja, whom I now invite to please read out the speech objectives.
Greetings to one and all present here. So today I'll be evaluating. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Please go on.
Okay, yeah. So today I'll be evaluating Toastmaster Srinidhi. So the purpose of her project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. All the best, Toastmaster Srinidhi. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pooja, and I now invite Toastmaster Srinidhi for her speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So I hope I'm audible and visible. Can someone confirm?
Yes, you are audible and visible.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So good afternoon to all the club members and guests. So I'll be doing my L1P3 project today. So avatars of the human brain. As Parvati Balakrishnan said, every mind has multiple personalities. There lives one who wants to give up, hang on, die, live, forgive, revenge, create, and annihilate. So it's all about keeping the thoughts in balance and the ability to choose good with the conscience. Now, how and why are these different personalities constructed? So let me break it down for you. Okay. So when your brain is subjected to abuse with prolonged side effects and you have to live with it, what exactly would be the coping mechanism? So this is where DID, that is dissociative identity disorder, comes into play. So this personality disorder, also known as multiple personality disorder, is a mental disorder which can occur at any point in a person's life when he or she is abused. So these victims of abuse consider themselves as weaklings and tend to overthink about the abuse, which causes them to implant another personality within their minds to counter these weaknesses. Now, at any age, when an unexpected incident occurs, another personality appears. So these situations may reoccur, causing more and more personalities to be formed. It's just like the way Kamal Hassan plays multiple roles in Dasavadara movie. The personalities implanted in a person with DID vary in age, gender, character, and health record too sometimes. So you can be a psychiatrist, an actor, a puppeteer, a president, and a beast with superhuman strength and agility all at the same time. So now think, a person can have as many as 100 alter egos. So this will surely piss off a guy taking the census, don't you think? So coming back, have you ever been reading the textbook for Amrita Values program, but then you zone out and don't recall anything you've just read? Because I've done it and I've experienced this a lot. And are you ever driving a familiar route, but it seems unfamiliar all of a sudden and you lose track of the path you're driving on? So this is sort of what it's like to have DID. And the only difference is it happens all the time. And in these moments, someone else takes over. So usually those with multiple personalities are not conscious of their alter egos. So they will recognize that something is abnormal due to symptoms like amnesia or severe headaches, but they may not realize it is due to the different avatars that are taking over to handle the triggers that cause the trauma. So, for example, here's a woman called Kim Noble who was diagnosed with DID and was subjected to repeated abuse her whole life. So, myriad separate identities were created to protect herself. She has about 100 personalities, but there is a protocol maintained. And Patricia, the most dominant alter ego, is the one who takes care of Kim's daughter. But Patricia herself was unaware that she had given birth to a child, and it took her quite some time to accept the truth and move on. And the thing is, suddenly when her shoulders give her a tiny jolt, she turns into a 15-year-old known as Judy, who thinks she's fat. And she has an alter ego that cooks and cleans too. How convenient. I wish I had someone to do that for me. And Patricia also managed to turn her life around, gaining considerable professional success and recognition. And she's altogether well settled and happy. So, this is fascinating, isn't it? Now, hold on. What if I can tell you that a person with DID can regain his or her vision without surgery? So, one interesting study showed that a 37-year-old blind German woman called BT met with an accident at a young age, and this damaged the visual processing area, but she was able to see only when she switched to when a personality switched to that of a teenage boy. However, she managed to regain her sight in all two of her personalities after months of therapy, and hence the patient's mind reintegrated and became whole, and that is what would cure DID as a. So, a person with DID may benefit from a particular alter, as we saw in the case of the blind woman. But living with multiple alters might destroy the work life relationship. For example, if a person with this sort of superpower goes up to a girl all geared up and ready to propose her, and suddenly his alter switches to that of an old lady, think of what's going to happen. It's going to be disastrous. So, a person with DID should not be marginalized. Rather, they should be treated with care because if left unattended, they might tend to hurt themselves more. And statistics shows that 70% of the people diagnosed with DID have attempted suicide, and they don't have any alter which would be of harm to the layman, as shown in the movie Split. If you've not watched it, please go and watch. So tapping into their minds and helping it shift to a pleasant state heals them in ways beyond we can ever imagine. So these DID cases show us the power of our own bodies to heal, and a therapist states that it is a brilliantly creative survival device. And if we harness the extraordinary power in the right way, the changes can be dramatic. So as a famous psychotherapist says, they can go further than normal people because they are not held back. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srinidhi, for that very intriguing speech. And Toastmaster Shashank, are you able to join?
Toastmaster Shashank, can you please confirm if you're in the meeting?
Okay, we actually have only two speakers, so maybe we can go ahead with the table topic session, and if he joins, then
Yes, sure. That can work also.
yes. So now we'll wait for some more time, but before that, we'll go on to the next table topic session. So, Toastmaster Hari Prashant.
Thank you, Toastmaster Malavika. Welcome to the next session of table topics. This is also a set of random topics, which I'm going to speak random people. How about Toastmaster Shyam?
Sure.
Yeah. Can you pick a number from 1 to 6?
5.
Okay. What was your favorite thing to do as a child that you would still love to be able to do as an adult? What was your favorite thing to do as a child that you would still love to be able to do as an adult? Toastmaster Shyam.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for that wonderful topic. So as a child, I like to play with my friends and talk with them. But as an adult, as we grow older and older, we tend to have fewer friends. And especially now because of COVID, as everything is online, you hardly know anyone in a classroom and you hardly know a handful of friends. And as a person who grows, after I grow up, after some time, and as I become an adult, I wish we can continue to be like children in our be a children and talk with our friends, have more friends, and get to know more people instead of just becoming more and more lonely as we age. As I feel that's something you don't want to happen as you grow up, because you want to be, as humans, it's our tendency to be more social, and as a social creature, we want to have friends. And if that's not the case as in adults, then that's going to be tough for us when we grow up. And I wish to avoid that, and I wish that everyone does that when they become adults. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shyam. That was a wonderful take on the topic. Next up, can we have Toastmaster Pooja for the next topic? Toastmaster Pooja? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Can you pick a number from 1 to 5?
3.
If you could switch lives with anyone for an entire day, who would it be and why? If you could switch lives with anyone for an entire day, who would it be and why? Toastmaster Pooja.
Greetings to $1 present here. If I could switch my life, I would like to switch it with my brother, because he's this one person whose life I'm so jealous of, and he's living my dream life, and he has no restrictions. He can take his bike and roam around without answering my mom's calls, and he can do whatever he wants. He can just hang out with his friends even till 10 o'clock at the night, and he can eat whatever he wants, all the street foods. And so if I want to switch my life with somebody else, I think it would be my brother. Yeah, that's it. Over the topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pooja. I think that would be the scenario of most of the Asian girls nowadays. Okay. Next up, can I have Toastmaster Srinidhi? Toastmaster Srinidhi. Okay. What about Toastmaster Shashank? Is he there? Okay. What about Toastmaster Shruti?
Yeah, I'll take up the top.
Yeah. Please choose a number between 1 to
1.
Okay. If you could make one movie or one book mandatory for everyone to watch or read, what would it be and why?
Alright.
If you could make one movie or book mandatory for everyone to read, what would it be and why? Over to you, Toastmaster Shruti.
As someone who reads so many books, if you ask me to choose one book to make mandatory, it feels like an impossible question to answer. I think your choice in books depends on who you are as a person, what you like, what you dislike. So if I had to pick one book that everyone had to read, probably would be the dictionary, because I believe if you read a dictionary, your language improves, and that's something that everyone should read. I mean, not the whole book, that would be too hard, but maybe like a page or two. Like today, I read a dictionary and I found the word chuffed, so maybe something like that. If everyone reads the dictionary, it might be helpful to everyone. And to pick one book which is liked by everyone and suits everyone's needs for a particular time is too hard. So yeah, I had to pick one book which should be mandatory for everyone to read, at least like a page every day. I believe it should be a dictionary. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shruti. I was expecting lots of different answers, but I never expected a dictionary, to be honest. Next up, can we have Toastmaster Pratana? Toastmaster Pratana? Okay, how about Toastmaster Pooja? Sorry, Toastmaster Saumya?
Yeah.
Sure. Can you pick a number from 1 to 3?
2.
Okay. What is the best advice you have ever received? What is the best advice you have ever received, Toastmaster Saumya?
Okay, sorry for not switching on the video. My bandwidth is too bad. Okay, starting with the topic. Thanks for the topic, table topics master. What's the advice? Sorry, could you just repeat the question? Your voice was breaking.
what is the best advice you have ever received?
Okay, thank you. Sorry. What is the best advice I have ever received? So I think I should get back to my childhood back then, since from childhood it'll be easy judging, and many people will obviously advise us. Once we grow up, we'll be like, we won't actually take care of many advices. We'll just hear it with an ear and leave it with another ear. I generally do that all the time. It doesn't mean like I don't follow advices. There will be lots of advices coming, right? Coming to the best advice, I have got it from my father. It is in a situation when I was like kind of not even good at studies, not even good at anything. Back then in my 7th class, hope so. I was like just passing time, eating, sleeping, and going to classes, not even listening, going to classes. It was back then like that. So my father was like, while we were in childhood, father is the one who takes care more of us, right? So he was like observing me since a month or so. Then he was one sat with me and he didn't even talk for an hour. Just we sat like that, seeing both of our faces. I was like, "Black, speak something, Papa. Why are you like this? Speak something." It was like after an hour, he was like, "What are you doing?" He asked. "I'm going to school." That's the only answer we have in our childhood, right? What are you doing in school? And the conversation started like that. Then he was always telling that if you after down the line after 10 years, you shouldn't feel that I might have studied a bit good then. Keep that in mind. He was like, I was then from then I changed a bit, and like that my growth has absolutely exponentially increased. So I'd like to thank my father. Thank you. Over to Tabletop Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Soumya, for the topic. Next up, can we have Toastmaster Shashank?
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
What's the worst decision you have ever made? What's the worst decision you have ever made, Toastmaster Shashank?
Thank you, Toastmaster, Table Topics Master, for that. It's a very interesting topic. I would say every decision I take, there are a lot many to tell this, to tell about, like to tell regarding this. One decision that I've taken worst of all is joining engineering this year, I guess, because this pandemic has really shifted the experience of engineering this year, since we're doing it online now. We really don't get the expertise of the uh, the domain that we have selected. So that would be my decision. And back to the table topics master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shashank. I think most of us can feel you, because we also most of us regret the same decision. And next up, can we have Toastmaster Rupa as a penalty for not attending a lot of meetings?
Sure.
Okay. What's your favorite quote and why? What's your favorite quote and why, Toastmaster Rupa?
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Hari Prashant. I think favorite quotes change throughout our lives depending on what we're going through. And I think my favorite quote currently would be "This too shall pass." I'll tell you why I like that quote. Because on March 16, 2019, the entire campus of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham was very happy. I remember because I was in a Thinkubator session where they gave us pizza and like hot chocolate, which wasn't really hot. And with that, we got the news that we got to go home for the next 15 days. And the entire campus screamed. The boys' hostel was losing its head and like wailing at the top of its voice. And the girls' hostel, everyone was howling and hooting and cheering and hugging each other and saying, "Yay, no college." From that, it's now almost 2 years into the future, and everyone I know is crying and saying that, "Oh my God, we lost 2 years of campus life." And the saddest part about that is that every single day you're hoping that this will be the last month of lockdown and this will be the last month of COVID, and it'll get over and it'll get over and you can go see all your friends and go back to your normal life and pretend like this was just a phase. But it's turning out to be so much more, and so much more than just a phase. And for those of us who are taking time to adapt and come to terms with this not so new normal, the only thing that keeps us going is the thought that this too shall pass. And that even though the hope that this will be over soon and we'll go back to college that we had 2 years ago doesn't seem so fresh and doesn't seem so hopeful all of a sudden, that hope is still there. And even if it takes longer to get over than we estimated, way longer, like probably exponentially more longer than what we estimated. At some point in time, it will get over and there will be another side. And when we're all on the other side, we'll all look at this and be like, oh my God, we got through that, and probably have a little nervous laugh and get on with our lives. So my quote that keeps me going presently is, this too shall pass. Over to the table topics master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rupa. Like, it was an amazing quote which you have chosen, and the way you explained it was awesome. Next up, can we have Toastmaster Sendil? Toastmaster Sendil, you there? Okay, how about Toastmaster Srinidhi? Okay. How about Bhavesh? Can you take one more topic?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. I think you will be one of the appropriate person to ask this question. How do you define success? How do you define success?
I don't think I'm the perfect person to answer the question, but how do I define success? Okay. Answering one of your previous table topic session, you asked a question, what was the best advice that you received? One of the best advices that I received was, it is okay to be wrong. It is okay to be bad. It's okay to be not being the best in what you do. It's okay to do what you do with the amount of effort that you put in. I personally take this because I was very introverted and very scared to do stuff. For example, I love playing basketball. I played so much in my 11th and 12th in school. And the court was entirely to the team, that is the 12 of us. When I came back to my hometown, there is from my village, the next town has a basketball court. And whenever I go there, I am so much scared to enter the court. I feel a bit of embarrassed, and I find myself to be not so good as the players who are playing there. So I've gone there thrice to, I've taken my kit, all prepared. I go until the court. When I go reach the gate, I return back, feeling that I am not good enough to enter the gate. My whole 11th standard, I never went to that court. At one point, my friend forced me to go inside, and we went and we joined and played with the people. And that's when I realized I played better than those people. It was just the fear that I was not good enough made me, hesitant to enter the court. So if you ask me what is success, whatever you're doing is success to you. You are your own success. You cannot define success. Success for each person is different. You see me talking so much here. You see me, getting some prizes for the speech and all. But 4 years back, I was the same person who ran away from the stage without telling even a single word for the speech. So it's okay to be wrong. At that point when I was embarrassed, now I'm able to present a speech confidently. So at that point, the success was, the only success that mattered to me was standing on the stage confidently. Now the success that matters to me is maybe participating confidently. So at each stage, success changes. So never ever compare your success to another person. Thank you, and over to Toastmaster Hariprasad.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavesh. That was an inspiring take on the topic. I never knew that success has this many variety of definition. Okay, that's the end of my table topic session. Hope you all have enjoyed the session. Over to Toastmaster Malika.
Thank you again, Toastmaster Hari Prashant, for that very energizing session. And now that Toastmaster Shashank is here, we will move on to his speech. The speech objectives have already been read out. So Toastmaster Shashank, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Malvika. I would like to start off with a story which has been very dear to us from our childhood. There are 3 farmers, and these 3 were neighbors, and they had their own crop field. And unfortunately, this 3 crop fields have been infected by pests. So the first farmer went up and kept strong fences, and the second one went ahead and kept a scarecrow, and the third one did pesticides. And unfortunately, none of these the pests haven't been reduced. One day there's been a farmer who has been crossing by and has noticed, and this farmer is the head of the village, and also happened to be the teacher of the 3 who have been neighbors. The head of the farmer had called the 3 and asked them to take a stick and break it. All of them did it very easily, Then the head farmer has asked the three to take a bundle of sticks and to break it. The first, the second, the third, none of the farmers could do it easily. This was a bit tough to the previous one. This was a struggle. The head farmer then said that you guys are stronger when you are together. And then he left. After that, the three farmers got together and clubbed all the resources they had and then started dealing with the pests. And very soon, and within no time, they got rid of the pest. What the head farmer did was actually what the Toastmasters envisions today. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Shashank, and mentorship to me is not about holding up hand and running people around to do each role and then making them a replica of you. What I feel is that to know their vision of doing things and what they want to improve in themselves, and so we can guide them towards someone whom they want to become. And I want to quote a quote that's been said by Spielberg, that there is a delicate balance between mentoring someone. There is a delicate balance between mentoring someone is not about making them a replica of you, but to make them aware of their opportunities and their goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shashank. Now, as we know, receiving feedback is one of the most important parts of not only Toastmasters, but in general, it allows us to improve on ourselves. So now we will move on to the individual evaluation session. And
I'm sorry to interrupt, Toastmaster Malavika. Can we quickly go through the polls for the best table topic speaker and the prepared speaker?
Yeah. Okay.
I kindly request you all to fill the first form as soon as possible. We'll take another 10 seconds. Please fill the second forms too. We'll take another 20 seconds to fill this. Another 10 seconds, guys. Come on. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Malavika. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavesh. So now we'll move on to the individual evaluators, and the evaluator for Toastmaster Srinidhi, who was our first speaker, was Toastmaster Pooja. But before I call upon Toastmaster Pooja, Toastmaster Bhavesh, is there any objectives to be read, because you'll be evaluating her?
There aren't any particular objectives to be read, but Toastmaster Pooja will be observed for her evaluation on evaluate. Okay, I will evaluate Toastmaster Pooja on her evaluation for Toastmaster Srinidhi. I'll present my evaluation after Toastmaster Pooja evaluates. Thank you, and over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavesh, and now over to Toastmaster Pooja.
Greetings to one all present here, and a special welcome to my target speaker, Toastmaster Srinidhi. So, avatars of human brain. I think she has chosen the most appropriate title. This created a sense of curiosity, and I started remembering all the movies which I watched, from Onion to Ow to Shutter Island. All those movies just flashed upon me, and the three things which I really loved from her speech was her script, and then her comfort level, and then audience awareness. First thing, starting with the script, her script was well researched, and her script had uh, proper content which was supported by proper research. And moving on to her comfort level, she appeared highly comfortable and confident. Lastly, audience awareness. The topic was highly engaging, and she did satisfied audience needs, and she also used stories in between to engage the audience. And moving on to the recommendation, um, she had a good eye contact and gestures, but I feel she could work on her vocal variety. For example, while narrating a story, by changing her tone, voice, and speech, she can create a huge impact. It really helps to connect with the audience. And the next thing is conclusion. Conclusion is something that leaves a huge impact, and I felt it was really short, and she could have added her personal connect with this topic, and how this topic is connected with her and how she feels about it. So, yeah, these are my recommendation. So to summarize it, I really liked her script, and she was able to connect with her audience, and her comfort level was amazing. And moving on to the recommendation, she had a good eye contact and gestures, but she could work upon her vocal variety and conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pooja. Our second speaker for the day. And now I invite Toastmaster Shashank's evaluator, Toastmaster Dhanushya, to please present her evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmaster Malavika. Good evening, everyone. Again, now to evaluate Toastmaster session, an absolutely great speech you had. I was just wondering, like, the topic given was mentoring, but you were talking about some other story which was really connected with unity. And I was wondering, like, how could you connect these both, and if the evaluation form which I received was strong or not. And last to the twist, you have given your welcome to everyone, and just started with the mentoring. That was the twist you had in your speech. That was really amazing, and I was impressed by that twist. And to start up, if you could have started your speech more effectively, like once upon a time, like telling it in a great manner, changing your vocal variety so that everyone can be grabbed to yourself, as audience will be listening to you, you can grab their attention in 10 seconds of your speech. So if you could work on that, I think your speech will be very wonderful. And the transitions you had between your speech and the way you delivered your story, and then coming to the main part, which is about mentoring, the how you connected with the mentoring and what you understood by mentoring of Toastmasters is absolutely clearly defined. Toastmaster Shashank, I could feel something was lagging in your speech. That is, if you could have included your own personal experiences of your mentor and the mentee relationship you have with your mentor, or how your mentor helped you. All these things will be great speech, because as Toastmasters, we love hearing personal stories. So if you include that in your speech, that will really be wonderful. And I have two more recommendations. If you could stand up and give your speech, I can see all your body languages, and also so that I can visualize you in front of the stage. So that is one thing I could recommend. And one more thing is vocal variety. So if you could, when you're telling a story, tell them in a lively manner so that they'll feel the story. Instead hearing it, they'll feel the story. And that is what I have to summarize with. You can improve your introduction of your speech and your vocal variety, and also and you can try speaking when by standing. So these are the three things they have for you. And I have one more challenge for you. So usually a speech should be for every minute there should be like 80 to 90 words, but I could see around 50 to 60 words in your speech. So if you could also work on it, that will be a great speech. I'm sure like you will win your contest. So that's it from me. Over to you, Toastmaster Malvika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dhanishya. Now I invite Toastmaster Bhavesh to evaluate Toastmaster Pooja's.
I hope my video and audio is clear, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you. So to start with my evaluation, I'll be evaluating Toastmaster Pooja based on 3 parts. One would be structure, positiveness, observation, and conclusion. It will be 4 parts: structure, positiveness, observation, and conclusion. To start with positiveness, Toastmaster Pooja started with a very good positive note, and that is most important for each and every evaluator, because at the end of the day, the purpose of an evaluator is to help the speaker understand their mistakes and improve on what they were good at for that day. So I believe Toastmaster Pooja made Toastmaster Srinidhi very comfortable by starting with a very good positive note. She also ensured that she made the content relatable by saying that this topic helped her remember the old movies that she saw about the same mental disorder. So that's great, and I recommend every evaluator to be positive when you start your evaluation session. Moving on to structure. Again, structure, she started with positive notes. She started with 3 good points that the speaker had. She also labeled that she's going to say 3 good points and ensure that she told the 3 good points. Then she went to areas of improvement and made sure that Toastmaster Srinidhi knew where she should improve. And finally, she concluded her speech. It's a very good, a well-constructed script. Moving on to the observations. Toastmaster Pooja mentioned that she observed eye contact. She mentioned lots of examples that Toastmaster Srinidhi used. She also commented on the structure of Toastmaster Srinidhi's speech, scripting style of Toastmaster Srinidhi's speech, and the vocal variety that she had and the areas of improvement. Overall, the observations were good enough to evaluate Toastmaster Srinidhi's speech. Coming to conclusion, Toastmaster Pooja had a well summarized conclusion. She ensured that she told both the positives and the areas of improvement quickly in a summary so that Toastmaster Srinidhi will remember it at the end of the day. Now, what are the areas of improvement that Toastmaster Pooja could improve is that give examples along with her observations. For example, she told that her scripting style was good. She could have mentioned where it was good so that Toastmaster Srinidhi can repeat it for her next speech. She told that vocal variety could have improved, but where to improve and how to improve can be given as example. One such example where voice modulation could have been used is that, hold on, what if I tell you you can recover blindness without any surgery? At that point, Toastmaster Srinidhi just went through monotonously. What could have been done is that, hold on, give a pause, as Toastmaster Pooja mentioned. Toastmaster Pooja did mention it. An example here would have emphasized the point even more clearly. What if I tell you that blindness can be recovered without surgery? And give a pause. Pauses emphasize your speech and emphasize your message greatly. So 1 to 2 seconds of pauses greatly helps. That's one thing which I observed. Apart from that, to conclude, Toastmaster Pooja had great positiveness. She had well observed points. She did a very good observation. Her conclusion was really, really well. Areas to improve, please provide examples along with every comment that you make. Thank you, and over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavesh. Before we move on to the reports of the tag team, I think we'll be taking a minute or two to just cast the votes for best evaluator. Now we move on to the tag team reports, and starting off, we'll have our timer, Toastmaster Priyadharshini, to please give her reports.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Now coming to the report for table topic session. Toastmaster Rupa took 1 minute 40 seconds in first table topic and 2 minutes 20 seconds in second table topic. DTM Mayur sir took 1 minute 55 seconds. Toastmaster Bhavesh took 1 minute 40 seconds in first table topic and 2 minutes 10 seconds in second table topic. Toastmaster Malavika took 2 minutes 15 seconds. Toastmaster Sainath took 1 minute 10 seconds. Toastmaster Shyam took 1 minute 15 seconds. Toastmaster Pooja took 55 seconds. Toastmaster Shruti took 1 minute 10 seconds. Toastmaster Soumya took 1 minute 40 seconds. Toastmaster Shashank took 40 seconds. Coming to prepared speeches, Toastmaster Srinidhi took 5 minutes 55 seconds and Toastmaster Shashank took 3 minutes 15 seconds. Now coming to evaluations, Toastmaster Pooja took 2 minutes 33 seconds. Toastmaster Dhanushya took 3 minutes. Toastmaster Bhavesh took 3 minutes 15 seconds. That's all from my side. Back to General Director.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyadharshini. Now I request our accounter, Toastmaster Rupa, to please give her reports.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Malavika. I caught an hour right there, so I'll add that to my count. But coming on to the R counters report, Toastmaster Bhavesh, when he gave the presiding officer's address in the beginning, he used 2 hours. Toastmaster Malavika, when she opened as the general evaluator, used 1 hour and 2 hours. Toastmaster Priyadharshini, in her introduction, used 1 hour, 1 hour, 2 arms, and 1 and 1 like. Toastmaster Rupa, that is me, when I gave my introduction, I used 1 so and 1 like and 1 very awkward pause. If any of you caught anything else, DM me. Toastmaster Shruti, during her first grammarian's introduction, I caught 1 more R there, but Toastmaster Shruti did not use any filler, so I am a chuffed R counter today. Great job, Toastmaster Shruti. Toastmaster Hari Prashant, during his table topic session 1, used 5 hours. I'll tell you how these 5 hours came. That's 1 hour for each speaker. So each time he had to call a new speaker, he said, we'll have a Toastmaster Rupa. So maybe try working on that in your next table topic session. And he also used 1 Toastmaster Rupa in her first table topic session, I don't know how many hours I used, but if any of you caught anything, please let me know. Toastmaster Mayur used 1 5 hours and no other fillers. Toastmaster Bhavesh, I'm very sorry, I did not catch the fillers that you used because my laptop ran out of charge. So you get a free pass here. Toastmaster Malavika used 1 and 1 in her table topic speech. Toastmaster Sainath did not use any fillers. So again, I'm a chuffed R counter. And moving on to the prepared speech session, when Toastmaster Malavika was presiding over this session, she used 2 hours, 5 hours, 1 so and 1 and. Toastmaster Dhanushya, when she was introducing her speaker's objectives, used 1 hour, 1 so. Toastmaster Shashank in his speech used 1 hour, 2 hours and 3 ands. Toastmaster Pooja used 2 hours and 1 so. And Toastmaster Srinidhi used 2 hours, 5 hours and 5 so's. Moving on to the second table topic session, Toastmaster Hari Prashant used 4 hours. Toastmaster Shyam used 1 hour and 1 so. Toastmaster Pooja used 3 hours, 1 1 so and 2 ands. Toastmaster Shruti used 2 hours, 1 so, 1 and 1 year in an unlikely place. Toastmaster Soumya used 1 okay and she used was like a lot of times instead of said. This can be counted as a crutch word or it cannot. It depends on our perspective. Toastmaster Shashank used 2 hours and 1 so, 1 and 1 like. Toastmaster Rupa used a lot of us and no, I used only 1 there, sorry. And Toastmaster Bhavesh used 1 and 1 And moving on to the evaluation session, Toastmaster Malavika used 2 hours, 1 and no other fillers. Toastmaster Pooja used 1 and 3 so's and 3 ands and 1 so here. Toastmaster Bhavesh used 3 hours, 1 so and no other fillers. Toastmaster Dhanushya used 4 hours, 1 and 3 so's and 1 like. Toastmaster Priyadharshini used 4 hours, 1 and no other fillers. A few more things that I observed are Like we use a lot of fillers when we begin our sentences or when we answer a question. For instance, if I'm the general evaluator or table topic speaker or someone and I have to call someone on stage, I say when I collect my thoughts, and then I say let's have the next speaker on stage. What would be better? Would it be if I took a pause, looked at the camera, collected myself, and then started speaking? The second thing that I noticed, which is really hypocritical, is we use a lot of fillers when we speak fast, like I'm doing right now. So when I speak fast or when I read something out fast, my mouth is talking very fast and my brain can't catch up. So I end up using a lot of fillers and a lot of crutch words like and, so, but, and like. And what would be better would be either if I worked on my pace, that is, I want to deliberately speak fast, which means I'll practice and come and not use any fillers, or I want to speak slowly and I will not use any fillers. Or I will use pauses in between to break my speech and give my brain enough time to catch up and not use any fillers. So that's pretty much what I had in mind. All the best to all the speakers, and back to general evaluation.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rupa, for that very detailed and instructive report. And also kudos to you for being the most attentive person in the meeting, I'm guessing. Now we will have the next report from the grammarian, who is Toastmaster Shruti. Toastmaster Shruti, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Malvika. So first of all, I'm quite chuffed to present my report after Toastmaster Rupa, because I'm quite sure I'll be using a lot of fillers right now. So first of all, Toastmaster Priyadarshini had used a beautiful phrase, motivates us in the long run. Toastmaster Bhavesh had used the word nightmarish to describe a viva, which was perfectly apt. Some other words, I believe, are ghoulish, terrorizing, and so on, but it's a beautiful usage. Toastmaster Rupa had used the word of the day, as well as she used a couple of beautiful words such as diminishing, wailing, hooting, and she used a lot of lively phrases, lively and colorful phrases such as quacking like a dumb duck and losing the head. It was quite hilarious, and I don't know, it was just amazing to hear in your speech. Toastmaster Malvika had also used the word of the day, and she too used beautiful phrases such as expedition to Antarctica, ridiculously expensive, and she used the word profoundly, which was also apt for according to her usage. Toastmaster Shan used the phrase tendency to be social, which was quite pleasing to hear in his speech. Toastmaster Srinidhi had used the word prolonged, zone off, geared up, and beyond ways that we can imagine was one phrase that she'd used. Beyond ways that we can imagine would have made her speech perfect. In fact, Toastmaster Shashank used a Spielberg quote which summed up his speech perfectly. Toastmaster Dhanushya used the word phrase grab your attention and speak in a lively manner, both of which were amazing. Guest Toastmaster Mayur used oasis and enchanted, but in his usage, he has used it such as had gotten the word enchanted instead of, well, she could have used enchanted the word, which should have sounded better. Toastmaster Sainad used the word rant, which again summed up his speech perfectly. Toastmaster Soumya had said will be easily judged. Instead of that, she could have used would have judged easily. That would have been better. That's it. That's my report as a grammarian. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster Malvika.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shruti, for that wonderful report. Moving on, I think I'll now move on to my own report. But before I start, there is, I think, a round of applause due for all the role players of today for making the meeting very interesting. And I think it's been, like, relatively speaking, out of all the meetings that we have been having in quite a few weeks, it's been one of the most energetic meetings. So kudos to all of you for coming up with such wonderful and intriguing topics like or just mentorship in general. Also, a big, congratulations to Toastmaster Hari Prashant, because he made such a good effort to actually pick out every speaker, every member in the audience, and that is a point of table topics, that everybody who attends the meeting, at least majority, gets a chance to speak, even if it is just for 1 to 2 minutes, because once you put yourself out there, things start to change. I know I'm the general evaluator primarily, but I also was the Toastmaster of the day, and I actually by asking everybody their speech titles before, but I'm sorry about not being able to do that. Another thing that I actually got my attention today was that usually the meeting room is open by 3:45 and we'll have Toastmaster Bhavesh and usually Toastmaster Hari Prashant probably in the room, and sometimes people join in by 2:45, or not a lot of people actually joined by 2:50. But today when I logged in at 2:50, we actually had quite a number of people, which was good, and we got to do a lot of audio and video checks. Of course, like there are network issues later and all that is fine. It's online, that's all excusable, but it'd be really nice if all of us could come maybe at least 5 minutes, be there, and sort of if there's any catching up to do, if speech titles or anything, all of that can be solved. And sometimes there are last minute changes in the agenda, all of that can be resolved instead of doing it late in the meeting. So that was a really good thing to do, and therefore we could start the meeting at 3 p.m. sharp today. And in the beginning itself, we had 6 to 7 members with their videos on consistently. And I think for majority of the meeting, we had at least 5 people with their videos on, although it has, of course, dwindled. And we did have 13 members at the start of the meeting, although I think a lot of people joined. But again, although 6 to 7 is, I say that it's good because it is in relation to previous meetings that we've had. But the standard and what we look to achieve is always all the members with their videos on. Come done better perhaps. The first few meetings that I actually attended, I think we had so much more people joining in. I think maybe in 20s, but I remember being a little overwhelmed in the beginning because I was like, oh, there are so many people, and all of that. I think the number has dwindled down. Like I said, when the meeting started, there were only 13 members, although it did keep on increasing. But I found that not all of the XCOM was present, first of all, and secondly, that the majority of the audience we had today were role players, and we had like 2 or 3 not role players and a part of the audience. It's fine, but it would be much better even for table topics if we had more people, more audience, or more audience to pick on, so that, not pick on in a negative sense, but call upon, so that people like the timer or the grammarian could actually go about their roles. But that doesn't mean that our meetings have to be not energetic, and our meeting today was not energetic. But it could be made a lot more energetic if so many of us had turned our videos on. I understand that network bandwidth is sometimes too low, but still, I think some of us are just shy or lazy to turn our videos on. Also, I find that turning our videos on keep us more accountable and more attentive in the meeting, because always when the videos are off, we have a tendency to probably, scroll through Instagram or do something else on the side. So it'd be very, very nice if we could turn our videos on. Also, I found that a couple of people could not, just say that they were there or speak up when the table topic master called them up. Again, sometimes I understand it can be network issues, but the table topic master calls you up, please do respond, whatever the topic is. Many of us attend the meeting and we are in the meeting, so obviously our network can't be bad all the time. So I think some of it can also be excused on our side. So please make sure, because first of all, we have almost 13 to 16 members. We have 2 table topic sessions, and he had such wonderful topics. So, and because it's online, we can't really force somebody to take up topics because we are not looking at them. So this is online, and if you want to get the best out of meetings, then you also have to make sure it very well. And yeah, that's all I think I observed from the meeting, and it was a really fun meeting, and it was a really energetic meeting, and I hope that we can have better meetings. That said, I now hand over my control to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Bhavesh.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Malavika. Before I continue, we have 2 polls to fill. I'll just pass it on. I request everybody to quickly fill it. I've launched the second poll. We take another 20 seconds to quickly do this. Thank you. I hope everybody has filled their forms. So I'll quickly announce the results. For the best prepared speaker, we have Toastmaster Shruti bagging it. Great job, Toastmaster Shruti. For the best table topic speaker, I got it. Thank you guys for voting for me. For the best individual evaluator, we have Toastmaster Danshia from KIT Toastmasters Club. Great job, Toastmaster Danshia. For the best tag role player, we have Toastmaster Shruti as the grammarian. Great job, Toastmaster Shruti. And the best role player of the day is table topics master Hari Prasant. Great job, Toastmaster Hari Prasant. As the presiding officer, I think I have nothing else to say because Toastmaster Malavika pretty much summed up everything that I had to say. Apart from that, I think today's table topic session was extremely energetic. As Toastmaster Malavika said, everybody participated well. And this can be continued. That's the main thing. One day we have all the energy, but the other day we lose it. So what's one thing is that keep practicing. You would have seen so many good speakers speak today. Some people hesitated a little bit. It's just the way that you speak, and more you practice, the better you'll become. That being said, another announcement that I have to make is that we have our ISE contest at Table Topics contest coming up on February 23rd. I know you guys already know that. It's just another reminder. Every single one of you here can participate for the Table Topics contest, and I recommend you to do so. If you're not interested in participating, you can still take a role. And I passed on the role players list on the WhatsApp group. You can look into it. But I highly recommend that you take part as a contestant in the Table Topics contest. That's the end of it. Next meeting will be conducted in next Sunday, 20th of February. We'll be having an educational session planned for the same day, and I request everybody to participate for the same.
Mr. Bhavesh,
yeah.
As area director, can I say something?
Yes, sure. I wanted to call you. Yes, sure. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavesh. It was a pleasure attending my Sunday afternoon. Usually my Sundays mornings are dedicated for one quiz program that I would dedicatedly watch. And this, Toastmasters meeting on a Sunday late afternoon has been one really entertaining part of my day. It was really engaging when the kind of prepared speeches that had come with the kind of content, we Toastmaster Srinidhi or we the second Toastmaster who spoke about many things. So it was really engaging, and the way in which your club members were able to hold on to the structure of the meeting. I really appreciate your innovative idea into splitting the table topics into two and having it to improve the club engagement factor. My sincere appreciations to Toastmaster Malavika for having played the role of the TMOD and the GE together. It is two really Herculean tasks which she had pulled off really well. Overall, I really enjoyed it. The table topics, the topics, I request the topics master to kindly send me a list of all the topics because some of them were really engaging. And if you as a fellow table topics enthusiast would also know that we are all in on table topics group. So we can share these topics in that WhatsApp group as well. So it will be really entertaining. My request to all of you is, I have a few requests. My request is invite other student Toastmasters from around the country or around the world to come and attend your meeting. All it takes is like, be it in Twitter or Instagram, you just have to put a tag and people will know about it. You can invite them. You did a joint meeting with Trinity College, right? That was a
Imperial London. Imperial London.
Yes. So yeah, like that you can invite Toastmasters from around the world on a Sunday. It will be really nice to hear from them. The second thing I would ask you all to do is, I know all of you, once you start becoming working professionals, you will hear this very often. It is to get out of your comfort zone. So I know all of you are sitting in your positions in which you attend your classes. Let Toastmasters be something else that you do outside of your regular life. So find a Toastmasters spot where you can actually psychologically, it will definitely help you improve the quality of the meeting. It will help you psychologically. Go to a fun place, go to your terrace, or find another place in your house and go and sit over there and try to attend the meeting. Do not think that you're going to be disturbing any of your other family members. Your privacy will not be disturbed. Go sit there and try to do that. It will be really entertaining for you as well as others. The quality with which you speak will definitely improve. So this is one tip that I actually heard in another Toastmasters meeting that I'm sharing with you. I'm also happy to announce that the area contest is going to be happening on March 13th. I really look forward to a good set of contestants from Amrita Toastmasters Club, where you will have a, you'll be getting an opportunity to contest in the international speech contest. Imagine, getting an opportunity to go for a running race, which will eventually take you to an Olympics running race. This is as good as that, where you are in a race which the success of this, which might eventually take you to a global stage. So please do consider, please do practice, prepare, and give your best shot. I'm really happy with the way Amrita Toastmasters Club is shaping up, and I'm also happy that Toastmaster Bhavesh and this team has reached out to the Toastmasters in Chennai campus. I'm really glad that members from that campus are also attending these meetings. I look forward to a new club in Chennai campus very soon. Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavesh and Amrita Toastmasters Club for doing this. Thanks to Rupa, even though you're in your final year, you're having a busy schedule, finding time for Toastmasters, it's a big thing. I look forward to your contest this time. We all are cheering for Amrita Toastmasters Club. All right, thank you, and over to the President, Toastmaster Bhavesh.
Thank you, DTM Mayur, for that inspiring words. As DTM Mayur mentioned, it's great to, change your positions, even at least move on the other side of the table and sit. You'll have a new perspective. Apart from that, change clothes. Before you attend the meeting, change a shirt or change something that's appropriate for the meeting. That that greatly elevates your mood for the meeting. That's one thing that you can look into. Before we close the session, why don't we all take a group photo? I kindly request everybody to turn your cameras on. Toastmaster Sham, will you be able to click a photo?
Yeah, sure. 1 minute.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, take it.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Sham. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Toastmaster Dansia, for attending our meeting. Would you like to say something?
I enjoyed the session. That's what I can say now.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Danisia. With that, the meeting has officially come to an end. Meet number 217 is closed. Thank you. Feel free to discuss our network, or else feel free to disconnect.
Bhavesh, when you were telling about your memories of going to play basketball to another court, right? You know what I did this morning? I woke up. There's this VOC ground.
Yeah, I know that.
This morning, usually I go for a run, like 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers. So this morning, what I did was I went to VOC ground. I saw people playing football over there. It was like school kids, okay? And even though I didn't play the full game, I played touch with them. So it was a good feeling. And when you were speaking about your experience, this is what I was able to connect with.
It's actually really nice. I was too scared to enter the court for playing.
Yeah,
I played before, but yeah,
really,
that's something we can overcome.
Yeah. Like even it's after all a sport, so it doesn't matter.
Definitely. After that, once I enter, I understood that everybody plays similar to us only. There are some people who play better, some people who do not play better. So it's just a fun thing to do.
Rupa, your exams over?
I have 2 more papers. They're on February 23rd and 24th. We have to like go to campus and write. And then after that, internship. So yeah, the internship's been going on. I think we can stop the recording.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.